name is Leslie Williams, and today's date is February 23rd, 2012, and I'm in San Diego, California right now. I've had extensive experience in how these syndicated group homes are run in reference to how they try to offer services for for targets like for people. See, what they do is that they make a target homeless. You can go to Google and type in gang stalking and homelessness and look at how many responses you'll get from Google. Now, what they do is set up syndicated group home, foster care homes, and even domestic violence shelters. Well, we'll just put it to you this way. They're connected in domestic violence shelters, 100%. They're syndicated to hospitals, doctors, psychiatric floors, corrupt county mental health, corrupt social services workers, police officers, district attorney's office, members of the prosecutor's office, including probate judges and probate lawyers. Google right now, a Pennsylvania judge gets 28 years for sentencing first-time misdemeanor children to the maximum sentence because he was getting federal kickbacks per child because it was a privately owned detention center. My name is Leslie Williams. This is literally how they operate. Google also 4 mentally disabled individuals kept in a basement for 11 years in Philadelphia. They go after the people on disability in order to tear their lives down to get a hold of them, okay, and using the excuse that they're homeless and can't take care of themselves as a result. Once they create the homelessness, they then try to steer them into homeless shelters, where they then contact, because a lot of these homeless shelters are also involved in gang stalking expeditions. See, the whole goal is to create homelessness for a reason. Think about this. Why would they create homelessness and then just walk away? The whole goal is to create homelessness, to exploit the homelessness, to try and claim the target can't take care of themselves, or is claiming everywhere they go they're being harassed by people that they don't know. Okay? Whether the people that are in shelters that the target goes to or not have already been there before the target even got there. What happens is what they do is that staff will, and also people that are involved in gang stalking, will approach these individuals that are already in the home and individuals that come into the home and pay them off to harass the target in ways they've already been harassed along the routes, the way they've already been sensitized to. And this is done to keep the body constantly reacting to the same victimization, the same harassment. And then when the target starts to identify it, the people that run the home or the homeless shelter will say, "What, are you crazy? This person's been here for 2 months," or "This person just got here. This person has been here for 2 months. We never had no trouble until you came here." These are the kinds of things, or they'll get staff that claim that you're possibly mentally ill. Because in order for them to get custody of you, they have to have the legitimate apparent legal reason to do it by claiming that you're mentally ill. In order to exploit your finances, to take over your Social Security, to exploit the Medicare once that is done, out of thousands and thousands of dollars once they get a hold of you, by staging all kinds of incidences and accusations in these types of environments, and then blame you for them, and then say you got to go to the hospital to get a medication where they'll bill the Medicare, and I guess out here it's called Medi-Cal, out of thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, and then everybody gets a kickback, just like the Pennsylvania judge got a kickback per child that he sentenced to a detention center. It's all set up, it's Medicare fraud, and then they try to also sexually exploit the target. They will discredit a target up and down the road when it comes, no matter where a target runs to. These people are syndicated in the community like you would not believe. They will pay off anybody to aid and abet them and help them. Okay, they'll intimidate people to help them. They'll coerce people into helping them, and they'll bribe people into helping them. And they'll also set up places to make it appear that this place is impenetrable by outside forces. So if I have any problems, once I go to Bilateral, it's a place in San Diego that I found online that advocates for human trafficking targets, and they say that they're set up with all kinds of community services like social services workers and stuff like that. So if I go there and I start opening up about what's happening to me, including to the social services members they send me to, or whoever they might send me to, or any staff or fellow clients, try to say that I'm causing any kind of problems whatsoever, understand this and be clear. They do set up homes for domestic violence. They do set up shelters for homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters, because they want to go after the vulnerable. This is also about prostitution rings and sexual servitude rings for these expeditions. And who better to go after? Someone who's homeless, someone who don't have no support, someone who has no way of getting any legal help. And once they do try to get out to get legal help, through the stalking, they know they're reaching out for it, and they contact their syndicate individuals within the system and the community to hinder the target's ability to get uncorrupted help. Yeah, by steering them to places that they that they can manipulate and maneuver the target before a syndicated probate judge and syndicated probate lawyer and call the target crazy for what the target knows to be true, but what they do is turn around and say the target's claiming this stuff is happening towards them. And as a result, they're either delusional, paranoid schizophrenic, bipolar, or suffer from dementia or some type of mental disorder, and then use those grounds to contain the target to exploit the target. And this is literally how they operate. Literally. Just Google gang stalking and corrupt mental health, gang stalking and homeless shelters, gang stalking and domestic violence, gang shelters, gang stalking and doctors, gang stalking in hospitals, gang stalking and falsified police reports, gang stalking and Social Security, gang stalking and churches, gang stalking and social services workers, gang stalking and postal employees, and you can also cross-reference these descriptions to organized stalking as well. My name is Leslie Williams. It's also stated at www.gangstalkingworld.com on their techniques page that they reroute phone calls to a place that you might be calling. Now, in order for me to look up a place for help, like for human trafficking, I got to go to one of their libraries, their public libraries, a city government public building, to look up a phone number for an address for human trafficking places that offer help for human trafficking victims. If I'm looking up their phone number and their address from a public library computer, okay, yeah, and then calling that number and they reroute it to them, pretending to be them, or if they'll contact that place I'm reaching out to and say, look, this is what's really going on with this person, we need you to help us, or if it's a place that's already been set up to engage in these types of expeditions to pipeline women to syndicated control, understand this and be clear. Why would I run to a place for being a human trafficking victim and then end up getting screwed over by them calling me mentally ill because I'm claiming all these things are happening to me? If you can go to Google and type in everything I'm describing and see how many responses you'll get from Google in reference to what you type in, if these types of expeditions weren't going on, and if they are going on such a huge scale, which you can look at by looking at the amount of Google generated responses, then how am I crazy? You can Google right now gang stalking in universities and you'll get, what you do is you go to Google and type in organized stalking in universities. You will literally get 5 million responses. I didn't make all those 5 million responses, so how am I crazy for being able to literally go to Google, typing in organized stalking, because it's called organized stalking, gang stalking, cause stalking, revenge stalking. 4 different names for it. If I type in organized stalking in universities and get 5 million responses, do you really think that I'm responsible for typing in 5 million responses about gang stalking or organized stalking? No. When you go to Google and type in organized stalking in universities and look at the multiple blogs of other targets who are talking about what they experience, practically every single email that I have sent for help in reference to being a target and victim of this crime have been from the University of San Diego and SDSU, and I have never gotten one reply back from any of those places because my emails were intercepted, and all you got to do is go to www.gangstalkingworld.com and look under their techniques page and see that email interception and phone call interception and phone call rerouting is their main tactics. It's done to keep a target isolated from help so they can maneuver and manipulate where a target is allowed to go to. These type of homes and shelters that they're actually infested in, or at least can get the cooperation from staff members and fellow clients, because the people who host, manage, and direct these things have power positions in the community to solicit the aid from these places. You would not believe what I know and who's connected to this. This is nothing but organized crime within the system, including county mental health workers, doctors in hospitals, social services workers, police officers. You can also type in organized stalking or gang stalking to falsify police reports. Yeah. The psychiatric proposal is flat out listed right on www.gangstalkingworld.com that they deliberately and intentionally diagnose a target with a mental illness to discredit the target and to also book the Medicare to at least discredit the target. So when a target is possibly brought before, when they are possibly brought before a syndicated judge, okay, then they take the file that states all these claims that target's mentally ill, and then the judge believes it. Or the judge is already syndicated and already knows what's going on. This is literally what they do. Again, Google, Pennsylvania judge sentenced to 28 years for pipelining children to a detention center deliberately for kickbacks. There's a manifesto online right now that you can go and find. It's a manifesto of a gang stalker. He's the one who manages and directs the harassment I experienced along my route. He's the same type of person who's responsible for what I experienced along my routes. He went offline, typed in who they are, who they're connected to, how they operate, and what they're about. He then downloaded that information to a USB drive and then went to an internet cafe and posted it online. It spread like wildfire. okay? It was linked up to me by a fellow target about a year ago, and I've been pasting it in some of my blogs. Just type in learning disabled woman gang stalked to San Diego, California again, and you'll find it, okay? And the link is also in some of my YouTube videos, but I recently just discovered they took that, you being able to find it through that link. I found that out about 2 days ago. So you'll find the actual manifesto in some of my blogs. My name is Leslie Williams, and in those blogs that flat out says the courts are the favorite place to trap a target, that they have psychiatrists on their chain, police officers on their chain, and this is literally how they operate. Today's date is February 23rd, 2012. If I am bothered, harassed by anybody along any of my routes here at this new camping location, no matter who they use in the community to say that they saw me here, yeah, along my bus routes, trolley routes, walking, stores, any stores, including 100% by any, like if I go to a mall, there's security staff, business employees, or fellow customers, anybody at any time, San Diego police officers, San Diego Sheriff's Department, or or California State Police, any county mental health workers ever try to claim that I'm this delusional, paranoid schizophrenic, bipolar, or any other type of mental disorder, understand, listen, be clear, I'm predicting it now. Okay? I'm not mentally ill. All you gotta do is go to Google and type in everything I just said in reference to the description of what I said. So look at how many responses you'll get at Google and YouTube, and you'll see that this is happening to hundreds of thousands of Americans. And that this is literally how they operate, by calling them mentally ill to contain the target, to exploit the target, and to conceal the crime. You would not believe what I know and what is happening towards me. The San Diego police, especially members in the Eastern Division's office, and especially members in the DA's office at the Hall of Justice down in downtown San Diego, Broadway Street, are directly connected to this crime. My name is Leslie Williams, San Diego, California, February 23rd, 2012. Oh, and by the way, Barney, the guy who's supposed to be Laura Zizzo's supervisor, had the audacity yesterday, after I pointed out to him that the video MTS sent me appears to be altered, and I even described to him how it's altered. You know what he said to me? Especially after I told him that a professor over at the University of San Diego noticed it as well and posted it on First Post. Type in learning disabled woman brutally assaulted on MTS bus. It's a December post on First Post newsletter. There's 3 of them all together. Okay, 3 videos go back between the beginning of December and middle of January, and you'll find all 3 posts that Eric Pearson, he's a professor in communications who specializes in videos and images, posted it on First Post. He posted it because he realized what MTS sent me was altered, so he posted it on First Post. When I told Bonnie about it, who's Laura Zizzo's supervisor, he started calling me delusional. It's already been all over the internet. The San Diego police were directly involved in that assault on the MTS bus. That's why they altered it. My name is Leslie Williams, San Diego, California, 2012, and I literally have it on digital audio file that Barney called me delusional and said that we had talked about this before. We never had one conversation about anything when it came to. The only time we ever had a conversation about anybody was when we were talking one time for about 3 seconds about homeless people, and he mentioned about how some homeless people have mental disorders. That's a known fact here in San Diego. But he tried to make it sound like yesterday when I talked to him that we had already discussed about me being delusional. I'm not delusional one bit. See, when I was talking to him, when you're talking to anybody in the San Diego Eastern Division Police Department, there's a video camera right on the ceiling. He made those statements so he could say that in front of the video camera. Yeah, to make it appear that we have had discussions in the past about me possibly being delusional. I have never had one discussion whatsoever with Bonnie about me being delusional in any way. For one, I don't know better because I know how they operate. And for 2, it never happened. My name is Leslie Williams, San Diego, California, February 23rd, 2012, and the time is 1:01 p.m. in the afternoon.